taking big shots. Just stop where I'm driven, no pit stops. This hot, I ain't playing like a 6 spot. Pissed off, but I told him this a chip shot.
Wait till you behold, Tiara leads the way, shining like a star. With Ron and Tiffany, they gon' raise the bar. Soulful rhythms, we're here to inspire.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Spot Real Talk. My name is Tiara.
I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Ron.
And we are back today for another recap of Reasonable Doubt. This is season 4, episode 6, titled No Church in the Wild. But before we get started on this discussion, please make sure you guys subscribe to our channel, like the video, and click that notification bell. Also, be sure to follow us on all of our social medias and spread the word to your friend and family that the spot is where it's at for all your hottest recaps. So without further ado, because I know we are burning up in our seats to start talking about this.
We already laughing.
Hot is the word.
Yeah, it's going to be a very spirited conversation. So let's hop right on in. This week, we know that the trial is heating up. Of course, Ozzie, he is in the hot seat, and we see him kind of starting off. He's having nightmares about this whole ordeal, and I think that he's suspicious of Monica just as much as Jax is now, especially since he had that nightmare. I thought that was kind of indicative of his mindset and where his mind is right now. And Jax kind of threw a curveball at him, and she kind of told Ozzie that she wanted to put Monica on the stand. And Ozzie had a lot of reservations about that because, number one, it would expose who his abuser was, because he knew that Jax would go down that road. And he was just worried about like having that whole thing be front and center in the public. And then I was really surprised too when Bill agreed with Ozzie, and I'm like, I'm glad that Bill kind of pulled Jax to the side and didn't do that in front of Ozzie, kind of questioning her decision. But I'm like, Jax is the more seasoned one here. She knows what she's doing, okay? And she definitely wouldn't do something that would intentionally put Ozzie's case at risk. Like, she told him, we need a distractor. If they don't have another suspect to look at, who else are they? They're just going to turn back around and point the finger at you. And I thought she was absolutely right in that.
She did. I think. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, but I, you know what? Initially, I thought, well, not initially. Once we found more about what Bill was doing, I thought it was sabotage, because Bill should be a smart enough lawyer to know that right now all you got is Ozzie, and that Jax was A1 on top of things, trying to get that idea to blame over onto somebody else. You don't need to be a seasoned attorney to kind of figure that part of it out. So I was a little in my mind, I was questioning Bill in the first place. What's going on? Because that made so much sense. And now I kind of figure out why he said it, based on what he did. And we all thought that Bill was on the up and up. So, I think we gave him.
Bill disappointed.
I told y'all the second episode, I put him on the hands. So I told y'all, I said he was backdooring Jax.
Yeah, but we thought that, later on, we thought that Bill had a difference of opinion. But now we see.
But what did I tell you?
Yeah,
when his wife said, when she made the comment about he always has ulterior motive. Remember, I told y'all, I said that stuck with me. That stuck with me when she said that. But I'm gonna play devil's advocate about Bill. Like, I think that it was the right move for Jax to do that, but I can see why he questioned it. Not just because Jax wasn't seasoned and stuff. You thinking about the case, but you also got to think about what that's going to do to the client. His concern was they didn't know what Monica was going to say when she got up there. And then number two, you saw how Ozzie was over there. He looked like he was about to start hyperventilating. And then the parents and stuff was about to go off. The mom was about to and stuff. So Jax was trying to save his life, so she was doing whatever she had to do. But at the same time, there's a reason why he's on drugs and in therapy and stuff. That is a traumatic situation and stuff. And I was like, and so I think from that regard, I think that that Bill was thinking about that, because when he looked over at Ozzie and he saw like Ozzie was like getting ready to start, he like held on to Ozzie and he was like, are you okay? It's gonna be all right and stuff. So I think that's what he was thinking about.
And it may be. I just say it's called taking the lesser of two evils.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you have to, at all costs, you have to consider your client. And
Mm-hmm.
both situations could have been quite volatile.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
the lesser of two evils.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I do think that they did need a distractor bad, because
They did.
the people that they were putting on the stand were kind of like not. It wasn't going in Jax's favor. When they put the what's his name, Ozzie's sister on the stand. What's her name?
Kristen.
Kristen, yeah. And she was kind of up there shaking with the prosecutor, and he was making her look bad about these text messages that she unsent. And Jax, she tried to go back and allow her to explain herself and why she deleted or unsent the messages or whatever.
Mhm.
But it didn't. I don't know if that was winning the jury over.
Mhm.
Like it really didn't. It didn't leave a lasting impression. Like I feel like it should have definitively made them not doubt Ozzie, but I think it made them doubt him a little bit more.
Listen, Kristen, I've been saying that I think she's suspect, and the fact that
Very.
Daniel was following her and she was meeting up with that journalist or whatever is writing a book, I was like, I don't know. She's suspect to me.
I
Very.
I see where you're going. If anything, though, the question is what sort of monetary relationship does she have with that journalist that she's keeping quiet? So obviously, she's putting or giving him information that is supporting his book deal. And I mean, I can only imagine that if you're going to do that and go against your brother, there must be some moolah associated with that.
Well,
So,
she
so I think that maybe that's her motivation. I don't know, but like you said, Tiara, I mean, she was Swiss cheese on the stand. It was,
mm-hmm,
um,
mm-hmm.
she was worth nothing. Jax, to your comment, Tiffany, Jax had to kind of go to Monica,
Plan B.
who
I
Plan B.
said Plan B.
Yeah, and she went to Monica to make Monica think that, hey, it's all chill, and all I need from you is X, Y, and Z, which is the standard information that everybody knows, blah blah blah, and made her feel better about going on stand. So I mean, Jax did a 180 on her, like I'm,
Mm-hmm.
but that's what it took. Because other than that, I don't know if Monica would have taken the stand.
Mm-mm. She wanted to protect
Yeah.
him. And
Yeah.
here's
No.
the thing. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
Um, did y'all catch that Monica thought that Ozzie did it? That's why she burned the clothes and stuff.
The
So
set.
I was like, so she was protecting him
Did
and
she
stuff. So
really, though? Did she really think that? I mean,
yeah,
because
because she's like, I love you. I've always loved you. I think she did. I think she did. And
but where'd she get
I'm
this tip
starting to
from?
think about I'm starting to think Ozzie.
Well, me
I
too.
don't trust I don't trust Ozzie either.
Look. You're right. I'm beginning to question Ozzy. Um, because my biggest concern is first of all, where'd you get the bloody sweatshirt from? I mean, you didn't find it. You got
Yeah.
it
Either
from
he. That's what I'm saying. Either he did it or he was with the person that did it.
that did it. Right. Right.
And he could have blacked out. Who knows? I mean, he is an addict. Who knows? You
Possible.
know?
Yeah.
And she obviously thought he did it, and that's why she was trying to get rid of the clothes. She was trying to protect him because she's so in love with him. And he is an actor. And I saw the way that the way he turned on her in the I mean, listen, she abused her she got what she got, you know.
Mhm.
So not taking up for her at all.
Yeah.
But when I saw the way he talked to her and addressed her in
In the
that
law.
garage, I said, he just like threw away the key. Like
So
he just was like,
Yep.
all of a
and
sudden,
I was like, oh, Ozzy got another side. I was like, Ozzy,
yeah, that was strike two for me because all of a
yep,
sudden, all that personal information didn't mean a thing. In fact,
Mm-hmm.
quite comfortable in the garage, tearing her down even more. I mean,
exactly.
whatever
Yeah.
Jack ate, you ate the rest of it and spit it out. So, hey,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's
'Cause
what,
The title "Reasonable Doubt,"
he,
uh-huh,
something.
uh-huh.
and you can like the situation with him and Monica goes so deep because I'm like, he had this little impromptu party at his house. He had her gather up the strippers and get the NDAs together. But as she's watching him with this other woman, like you really seen the jealousy come out in her.
Well,
And I was like, wow, I'm like,
I don't know if
I
that's.
But you
knew
see
that
how, no,
she,
but you ain't see how she got off,
That's
like
what I'm
how
saying.
she
how,
was.
I don't know if
yeah,
that's
I was about to
jealousy
say,
or
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was about to
She had power over him
yes,
still,
she did.
because
that.
She
And that's why I say this might not be the end because I feel like Ozzy is one way in private and another way publicly. I think he was putting on a show in that garage for Jackson, all the lawyers or whatever. But
mhm.
in
I don't know.
private, he
I
is
think that's
weak.
a
She is his Achilles
no.
heel.
I think the opposite. I think that
I,
that garage showed the true Ozzy and what we're going and may be and it may also tie into how he may have something to do with Wendy's murder because you don't just come from being weak to straight up strong.
snap.
I mean,
Yeah.
one of them is true. You're either weak or you're strong. And what he presented in that garage was a strongman routine because he threw
Well,
her.
I think it's both. I
Well,
think
that's
it's both.
it
Because in past times he has been very weak. He's been manipulated a lot.
knows how
But
to
I
act.
think that
Tiffany just
Jack's
said.
bringing it out to him that you were abused, like the therapy and stuff. Like I think he does see for himself now that he was manipulated,
Tiffany
and
said.
that does invoke a sense of anger. But I
Tiffany
think he
said.
still has a weak spot for her too.
Tiffany said he's an actor,
Mhm.
so he played that real soft routine,
Mhm.
and then the garage showed a whole different side. I mean,
Mhm.
180.
He eviscerated her,
He did. I mean, I thought Jack.
and I was like,
I thought.
wow. She been his agent since he was 13 and stuff. And I understand taking your power back and everything, especially in facing your abuser and all that.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't know. I'm looking at Ozzy. I'm like, Spidey senses are tingling.
I'm
Woo.
with you. I still think that he's very shady. I'm side eyeing the heck out of him.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that he does have a duality to him, and I think he's just starting to step into his power. Not to say that he won't have some little hiccups and be still on Monica's line, but I'm just thinking that he's stepping more into his power now, especially now seeing the response from his parents and stuff like that might motivate him to not, or they might kind of put it in as like a mandate. You can't have nothing to do with her. They're going to try to tighten the reins on him now, but it's like it's kind of too late for that. He's an adult.
Oh,
So
he
we'll see
fired
how.
her for sure. I mean, he said, "Don't ever come back." I mean, I want you out of. I mean, he literally told her. I mean, he kicked her out of everything. He said, "Don't."
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you
Mm-hmm.
said to her.
But that's until he needs something. She's been his agent for 13, like since he was 13. So
Mm-hmm.
But
he
that's.
called her for everything. Like she said on the stand, I was his everything.
But
I
that's.
was his friend, his confidant, his agent, his
But
this is that. And it's like you can't. He's had her around for so long that I don't even know if he knows how to operate in her absence.
but Tiara, that's what makes his duality, as you said, so much interesting. I mean, because I find that a lot of actors who are really good at what they do have such a duality that they can be two people at once. I mean,
Yep.
whenever they can turn it on, they can turn it off. His acting as if he needed her that much. Because here's the thing, you can't need her that much, and then an hour after the trial, you down in the garage slitting whatever I mean, if Jack started the cut at the neck, he finished it.
Yeah,
I'm telling
yeah.
you can't go from that to that unless you have what's the psychopath, unless you have some kind of mental disorder that
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
one thing triggers the other, the other person.
Didn't
Because
we see how he
Yeah.
did the girl? He was being intimate with the girl, and
no,
then when he saw
Yeah, booted
Monica,
her.
you know,
get off,
playing with herself,
getting off.
he watched her the whole time, and it helped him get off. And then he
Mhm.
just threw the chick on. He like get the f out of here. Da-da. Like I was like he freaked
Hmm.
out, and I was like, okay, yeah, he has
Yeah,
issues.
yeah, he has issues, but
He does.
I think the real one is the dangerous one. I think now he's probably more dangerous than they let us on.
Hmm.
So, so we really,
Agree.
and you know what? I think that she will be successful getting him off, and then we're going to see the real deal. She'll understand what she really did.
Yeah, I still am interested to see how he got those scratches on his chest. And
That's what
so
I'm
I'm
saying.
just like, yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I
Well,
don't doubt that he has this Jekyll and Hyde type situation going on. I believe that.
yeah, that
He might, and I'm not counting out the DL situation that I mentioned because
Mm,
who knows? Wendy might have found out about that and might have been like,
mm, yeah.
well, I
anything could have. I'm just like this Alex guy. I think he was the one that was like he and Kristen were working on that book deal thing
mm,
and stuff. But
Hmm.
I don't know. I mean, there could be more to it.
But you seen, I think it was Alex. He had a book with a USB drive, and he plugged it in, and you could see this video with Wendy on there. And it's
Uh
like,
huh.
okay, so there is a video. He wasn't
right,
bluffing about that.
Yeah.
exactly.
Now what that video shows, I don't know. Is it the actual incident that took her life, or is it something else that kind
It
of
looked.
reads into Ozzy's, you know, evil side?
Wasn't she gagged?
It looked
You
like
can
she
see her,
was.
and it looked like she
I
might have
couldn't
been.
tell if she had something in her mouth, but it definitely looked like she was.
He was
It was
tied
something
down.
coming like right across her
Yeah.
neck, almost
Or
like
just
if
around the
she
shoulder.
was getting
Uh
ready
huh.
to be like.
Yeah.
Uh huh.
Yeah, ooh, mm,
Yeah.
That. Yeah,
mm.
yeah, it's gonna heat up next week. We gotta know what's going on with that
And we
situation.
gonna find
And
out.
I'm still like, I'm just, yeah, I'm glad that somebody knows about it. It seemed like Daniel is getting closer and closer. Although Daniel was being a little sloppy too, because Crystal caught him hugging uh
Oh, she said,
Kristen in the hallway. I Yeah, I think that Daniel has exposed himself.
yes, he has, because Crystal started running down the hall, and I thought she was running to go tell Jax.
That's what I thought. And maybe she
Yeah, I
did.
don't know.
That's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, but with Jax though in this case, and going back to this Bill topic, because Bill, he was being shady boots this episode when he decided he was going to. And this goes back to what you said, the statement that his wife made when she was saying that Bill is basically self-seeking, self-serving.
Uh huh.
And um Bill had an opportunity where the partners came up to him and he was like, look, the firm is getting ready to be acquired, and that would require us to kind of be on our P's and Q's, and we don't know if Jax is really going to fit into that picture. And it's like the second that you had a chance to throw Jax under the bus for your own advancement, you did just that. And I was like, Bill, we were rooting for you. I'm
I
like, you
told
had
y'all.
done so good, standing up for Jax, having her back these past couple episodes. And then the second you get a chance, you denied her. You put her right up under the bus, rolled over, put it in reverse,
He
went back
acted like a
over
he
again.
acted like a
And
male
then
Karen.
Oh,
He acted like
stop.
a male Karen, and
Okay.
and then
those partners
It's
too.
funny though how y'all see so much. Well, maybe this is the case when it's women. Just like you were saying when we were offline about Sally and well, maybe this and about
No, we gonna get to
Oh, we're
Sally.
gonna get to Sally, and
not
I
even
want to
Sally
stand
right
on
now.
business. So
No, 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 no,
don't make it seem
no.
like
I'm
I'm gonna
not.
say
Hold
stuff
up, hold
off.
up. Not Sally, but Bill's wife.
Kendra.
We gonna
Kendra.
get to her too.
No, no.
That's
Yep.
next.
Yep.
Y'all give a violin when it comes to her, but maybe you might stop and think that Bill, it's called self-preservation. Maybe
Mm-mm.
listen, maybe he wanted the partnership so that he could convince his wife. But remember what he said to his wife, I'm this close to making partnership, and
Exactly.
if I
Hmm.
make partnership, then I got time to spend with the family and yada 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 yada. And maybe when he got that nugget, he said, now I'm not saying it's right now.
No,
Don't
I think that's what he was thinking too, Ron.
yeah.
I do think he was thinking that. But I think she's heard this over and over and over again, and that's why she was
And
tired.
maybe,
Hmm.
I mean, it'd be different if he stepped up and said, "I got the partnership, and now I'm ready to play ball." But that's we're gonna get there, and I'm all, ooh,
Go ahead.
Yeah,
no,
well, my point in bringing up the Bill thing though was that he really gaslit Jax because she peeped that he probably had something to do with it when the partners brought it up at the table, and she's kind of questioning like, how would they know to go down that line of thinking, and so she
He looked over
called
at him
Bill
and he's
out.
looking like,
Yeah,
doo-doo, doo-doo. I was
exactly.
like,
the lawyer.
And then she goes to call him out, and he really is like, no, I understand why you would feel that way, though, because they do have this, thing of making you doubt yourself and questioning you. And both, I'm
like,
like,
oh.
He's a
he
lawyer.
gaslit the heck
He
out of her.
played in her face. He played in her face.
He's a lawyer.
A liar. Because he lied to her
So
face.
disappointed in Bill.
Lawyers,
Because she asked him straight up, like, did you have a conversation? And he was like, no. And they're concerned about, so he lied.
yeah, he did. But
He
I'm
lied right to her face.
Mm-hmm.
lawyer do almost anything. So he's a good lawyer. That's all I got to say. He's a good lawyer, and
He's a good liar.
He's a good
He
liar.
is.
they
And
got
that's
to do
probably why Kendra
it.
can't trust that he meant what he said
But that's
either.
not what Kendra said, though. What Kendra was mostly concerned with, as she said, here we go, we do this, and then 6 months later, we're right down to what we have been doing the whole time.
He's
Okay.
inconsistent.
So it's a pattern.
But it's a pattern based on his ability to work or his ability to get ahead. So I guess what I'm saying is I got it. I understand her point, but now that we're here, I'm gonna get into her. You know what?
Go ahead.
She did the same daggone thing that Sally did last week. And what is that? The man called you out for a nice night on the town. You agree. He plans. In fact, he wanted a certain time. You asked to get it a little earlier. He agreed to that. He gets a nice restaurant, brings you your favorite flowers. Y'all have a nice good old time. Brother man now thinks that he's in. Oh, I've done it now. And what you do but drop the ball right there at the step at your place, and
Well,
you
she
talk,
didn't do what Sally did. She didn't,
wait,
she
wait,
at
wait,
least she
wait,
didn't give
wait,
him none.
wait, well, except that, and almost, she was about to kiss him. And what she do? She dropped the hammer right on him, talking about, oh no, I can't do this. In fact, I'm about to serve you some papers. Why couldn't you just tell him that when he asked you out? Why couldn't you just say, I don't think that's a good idea because I'm filing for divorce? Why couldn't you say that? No, you had to play him up to bring him down. Now, come on,
She
lady.
said she didn't have the paper. She said I contacted a divorce
No, she
attorney.
she said. Well, I'm saying she
She
said
said I contacted the divorce attorney. So the
difference. What
papers.
I'm saying is,
That's the difference between contacting them and having the
the
papers drawn.
difference is
Sally had the papers
the
on the
difference.
spot.
The difference is the paper. But my point is, if this is how you felt that you want a divorce, then why bother to go through the whole routine? What was the
Maybe,
point?
I
no,
can't.
because she was checking her options.
He
Like,
wasn't
maybe
checking
she
no
wanted to see.
option. Sure, option.
Maybe she wanted to see. Let me see if this is salvageable before I do this.
Tiffany, they had a good time. So if anything,
Well,
well, my point is, how else can you determine salvageability, if that's a word? But how else can you determine if it's salvageable unless you go out and have a good time? because you didn't give him another day at it or another week at it or another month at it. You gave him one night and y'all seem to have had a good time. And then you say, I can't do this. I'm getting a divorce. So
But that's not true because in the other
that's what she
episodes,
said though.
but in the other episodes, when he came correct last time, she was like, "Oh, she was like, "Oh, you want to come in?" And he said, "Nah." He backed away.
Okay.
So she was. So it was over time that
But
it
no, sweetie, he showed that he was a different man from the last couple episodes, and she was checking that out.
right.
So now that we see the two of it, you can't tell me that when you heard that they were going to dinner and they had a nice time, that you didn't think that there was a chance that they were going to get back together. You didn't
Yeah,
think,
I did, but she did. But I also heard her when she said that they do this like every 6 months.
no,
So
no,
it, it, it had a
she said,
pattern
no,
of
she didn't say
them.
they do it every 6 months. She said, I don't want to do this because you'll do this now, then 6 months later,
She's
she's
saying that because it's been a pattern with him. So
okay.
that's why. So she didn't want to get comfortable.
Tiff, Tiff, when you get married, it says for better or worse. And I don't
But
see that being the worst in their marriage. I mean,
if
you can
he's
get a lot
putting
worse.
a job before his family
If he's
and
putting his job
her,
for the family so that he can do better for the family, my point being is, I
but he
didn't,
wasn't making time for them.
well, in her regard, here's what we don't know. How much time did you demand? So the question is, was he not putting in enough time as far as you're concerned? And if that is the case, then the question is, why'd you two lawyers get together in the first place? Because if lawyers work odd hours, long hours. They do. That's just the nature of the job. So
Hmm.
if you understand that when you get married, then you understand that you're not just being a lawyer for lawyer's sake, you're trying to get somewhere. And he was trying to make partners, so he was putting in more time. And I'm not excusing absence from the family. So don't get me twisted. This isn't saying that it's okay to be absent from the family, but there are certain jobs that just require the overtime. And if you understand that getting married, then I don't see where we are at this point. I don't see
There
why.
has to be balance. There is nothing wrong with being ambitious. But it has to be balanced when you have a family.
Tiff,
And
sometimes
I think that the thing that Bill even mentioned himself was that he used to bring laptops on dinner dates and stuff when he said to Jax, like, I'm trying to get excuse to go to dinner. So I think that
That's
Bill
not balanced.
admittedly would say
no, it's not.
that
But
he was out of whack with his family and he was missing important details, putting all the load on Kendra. And I think that, like you said, this is not her first rodeo with him. And I think that although they have a lot of great chemistry, they were reminiscent to this episode on all the good times they had. I think that Kendra is hopeful that Bill will change. But some of the things that we seen from him, even aside from his dealings with Kendra, the way he did Jax, like he was an opportunist when he had the second to do differently or to go with his self-serving motives, he chose himself. And I think he has a tendency to choose himself and his aspirations, and I think that's what Kendra also sees.
if
Now
I'm
I do agree with you, Ron. She could have just told him up front, like, bruh, I don't think this gonna work. I want the divorce.
not
I
saying
don't think they had to go through the
you
dinner
didn't
and
have to
all
go
that to
through all
get
that.
there. I think she
Because,
left him dangling with a little piece of hope,
if the dinner was going to prove
and
something,
she shouldn't have. I think she should have just told him.
right? I mean, if you look at it from the perspective that the dinner was supposed to prove his loyalty to the family, then he passed. But obviously, it wasn't the dinner. Obviously, you already had your mind made up. So why bother the dinner? That's all I'm saying. I'm not disagreeing about her methodology for wanting the divorce, although, as I've said, marriages are for better or worse. And now
Hmm.
it's not like we don't know how long they've been married, but it couldn't have been married for years. It's not like they've been married 30 years and she had to put up with this for 30 years and she decides 30 years later this isn't what she wants. So I don't know how long she's been married, but my point being is sometimes marriage is 50-50, sometimes it's
Hmm.
60-40, sometimes it's 70-30, and then sometimes it evens out and in another year, 2 or 3, where it flips or you do come to a sense of commonality. But it has to take time. And my point is, Just because you're frustrated today doesn't mean you're going to be frustrated tomorrow. And if you're judging a man by his previous character, then you've already put a dagger in your marriage. So if you don't
I agree with that.
so at some point, if every time something comes up in your marriage that's negative, and you're going to count that and put a dagger in the man's or woman's back, because men do the same thing. Men treat their women exactly the same way in a marriage. If the woman can't do for you at the specific time that you want it done, namely having sex, you want to go out and do screw everything on the outside because your wife isn't giving you any because she got 4 kids, 6 kids, she got to take care of the kids, she got to clean the house, and you want her out there living it up like y'all did when y'all were dating. It don't work that way. But they say better or,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to accept it as that, better or worse. But
Agree.
but we don't know how worse it could have gotten because you never gave him the chance.
No, I think
Yeah.
she has given him a chance.
And
And
I
the
do
thing is
think
this,
that Bill was actually putting in a valid effort.
I do think he was putting in a valiant effort. I think he was really trying to save his marriage. However, I also feel like this, and I'm an advocate for marriage. And I think marriage is sacred. But I also, you know,
Know who you marry. That's all.
first of all, but it's nothing worse than being married to someone and feeling like a single parent too.
Get
Like
that.
that, and
Mm-hmm.
I get
I've
that.
heard that, like, but to have a spouse and have children and still be lonely in the marriage and everything be on you and you be the single parent when you have a partner, that that is not
I
balance.
get that. And you're right. But what I'm saying is better or worse means you try to work it out to some degree. And I don't think they've been married long because their kids are young. But but aside from all that, my biggest point about the whole thing is, lady, you could have just not gone to dinner and told him it ain't gonna work. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Didn't have to build him
I'm
up
not.
to tear him down.
She didn't, but maybe she was still on the fence.
There you
Maybe
Yeah.
she
go.
was
There
just
you
like,
go. It's a
she,
maybe that you keep drawing up with
no,
her. It's
because she
no
might have been
maybe.
like, hey, like,
No, it's no
no,
hey.
no, no, no,
You can't
no.
be a
No,
hey.
now I'm gonna get real. I,
Get real.
I'm a divorcee,
Okay.
and we were divorced for a couple of years before we actually divorced. So there was times it was like, oh, this might work. We might get together. Right? Yeah, and stuff. So sometimes you think, well, we'll see, and whatever. It wasn't like cut and dry. It wasn't like we stopped loving each other and things like that. So she may have gone to dinner still thinking like, I don't know that this is going to work, but let me just try. Let me go and let me see and stuff.
Okay.
So,
Stop right
so
there.
you still keep
Stop
your
right there.
options
Let me
open.
see. You said, let me go and see.
Yeah,
You
and she
saw,
did.
you saw that y'all had a good time.
Yes,
So why didn't that see come into a situation where you say,
because you don't know how many times that
"Mm,
they've
that was,
done that and
what,
had the same result. Like it probably was a pattern. She might have been like, you know what?
you're arguing your own point. Because my point is, if it's been done enough times that you know what's going to happen, why bother to do it again? And if you bother to do it again to see if there wasn't going to happen, then you have to wait until it happens again. But you can't
Well,
do it both ways, Tim.
listen. Well,
Well,
she just
hold on.
go
No,
ahead. Go ahead. Go
no.
ahead.
No, I was gonna say I both y'all sides of this because I do see where she might have been hopeful and she might have just gone in there, especially with him talking about making partner. It's always for guys, and I notice this with a lot of men. It's never I can do these two things at once. I can have my family and my job. It's like I gotta hit this one milestone. Then after that, we good. And that
They can't
sometimes
multitask like
you
us.
gentlemen are not tangential. You can't do two things at once. It's this
You know,
milestone after milestone. You got to do things
funny.
sequentially,
My
and it
pastor,
shouldn't have to be that way.
my pastor just celebrated his birthday, but over 35 years, I think, with his wife. And the very thing that he admitted to the congregation is that when he started his church, he was so busy. He's got 6 kids. He was so busy building up his church that he neglected his family. And he admitted that. But you
Mhm.
know what his wife didn't do?
She didn't leave him.
Well,
That's what I'm saying.
just
No.
because you,
No, no,
of
no, 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 no,
course,
no, no,
of
no, no.
course.
I'm just making a point. I let it
Okay.
let it roast. I'm just saying.
Okay,
Sometimes
I get your
it
point
works
though.
out in the end, but it goes to show that you. Let me say this: when you're in that corporate world and you're trying to get to the top, something's going to suffer. Either the business is
Yeah.
going to suffer or the family is going to suffer. And my biggest point to y'all out there, if you're thinking about getting married, know who the frick you're marrying.
Well,
But
like you
you
said,
say
we just
I
talk about your
do.
passage. You know what the scriptures say
Right?
about the marriage. That outside stuff is not supposed to
Wait
come
a minute,
before your
hold up,
marriage.
hold up. The scripture does not require or request divorce unless some other factors are.
Exactly, exactly. That's
Oh,
true.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
if you're going there,
Well, let's talk about that
That
because Bill
that's
and
true.
Sally are both married on paper, okay?
Exactly.
And here they are
Look at Bill. How
look,
look,
out
Bill
here cheating.
look.
Bill was just told that she called a divorce attorney. She didn't even serve him yet, and he was already out trying to get
No, he
some
Being
wasn't
too
out. He was
pale.
called. He was called over and got, and
he was flirting with
he
Sally from the
was
Valley.
flirting with him, and he flirted back. So, but Sally, let's go to Sally.
Oh,
No,
Sally was
let's
out
go
of
to y'all
pocket.
favorite. No,
Sally on the hands list
Sally
this
said
week.
she outside.
Sally said she outside and she is. You know, she said the thing that I said last week though when she said about when she told Jax about the divorce, she was like, "I'm taking my power back." That's something I said to y'all last week, and I know
Hmm.
what
some
is
of
that?
y'all.
What does that mean? I don't even go into that. Y'all got
Yeah,
more,
yeah, yeah.
y'all got more lines than I can.
She took her power back, but I wasn't feeling her with the situation with Bill though. I didn't like that.
She took her ring
You're
off.
still married. He's married. Jax told you he's married. It's somebody that Jax
And
works
she
with.
was
And Jax at least told
still pursuing him, knowing he was
Jax told
married.
Bill. Jax told Bill, go home to your wife. He said, okay. He goes home. What does Sally do? When Jax got
He
to the
texts him.
bathroom, she picks up Jack's phone, grabs his number, and then texts the man. Like, y'all, you know what?
Yeah,
And
Sally's
what
out
did
of
he
pocket.
do? He
Wait a
look. He
minute.
ain't turn it down.
I
He did not turn it down.
always throw it back on him, don't you? You just can't let her be the
See
villain.
what the no? I just said what I started off saying that she was wrong. I said that she was out of pocket for everything that she did.
Then you put that
But
bug
he
on
was.
her,
But
right?
he is wrong too.
I'm
He's
not saying
wrong
he,
too.
I'm not saying he
He's a
wasn't.
married man,
But look, he went home, or at least he was trying to go home. Your
and he
girl,
should have stayed home. He should have ignored her call. He should have blocked her.
did he call her back?
First of all, that's Jack's friend. He
Did he,
works for
did he
Jack's.
call her back? No, he
Mhm.
just looked at it, laughed, and got in the car. We don't know what he gonna do with that number. So
Well, we saw what he did
We
with
see,
that number.
yeah,
We saw what he did with that number.
oh,
exactly.
okay,
And now, who's to say that Kendra won't have a change of heart? Like you say, Ron, maybe she'll find the value in her marriage and not want to throw it in towel.
Right.
And he done already gone off and double dipped somewhere else in the chocolate, you
well,
know?
Yes.
she kept saying, "Call me Sally, call me Sally." So,
Sally from the Valley. Yeah.
Sally put it back. So I don't know, like, look, what man? It's you. Look,
Cause he hit her with the lottie dottie. I was like,
no, you
okay,
say this,
Bill.
you say this all the time. It's that stuff that's between your legs to get these men
Oh, the kryptonite. I told you the kryptonite.
every
Absolutely.
time.
But he should have gone home. He
Couldn't
should have
do it.
gone home.
He should have.
Sally was dead wrong. That's why she deserved the hands this week for sure. For
Mhm.
sure. Cause I was just
Yeah.
like, whew. I was like, Jackson's gonna be so mad at the both of them.
Yep. Yep.
Why I
Absolutely.
said,
So,
Jax, I didn't think was too out of pocket the first time she got on Sally. So apparently she knows Sally.
Yeah, well, she
well,
was talking about him. She
Yeah,
was talking about the husband when the first time she got on Sally. She was just like, listen, you don't know what he's doing, so be careful.
but that's my point.
yeah.
She knows Sally does these kind of wayward things, even though, because Sally basically, Jax was basically saying, look, your husband could be out there screwing whomever, and here you are trying to get with him. So Sally has an issue, seemed like, because all she did was took one look at Bill, and she was already hot for him.
She was hot for her neck. You know what they say? get over one man, you gotta get under a new one.
No,
I think
yeah,
that's what
yeah.
type of
She
time
was
Sally was on.
rebound. She said I'm outside. So she was, yeah.
She wasn't rebound. She was just what
Sally was
Sally was
looking for
retaliating.
anything
Yes,
at
she
that
was.
point that was gonna help her get through.
Yeah.
But moving along from that, because we spent a long time on that, we still got to touch on this situation with Lewis and Jax and their families. They came together this week. We find out that Lewis's family is going to be in town from Philly, and Jax is a little apprehensive about them meeting her father because he obviously wasn't at the wedding. And Jax believes that Lewis's side of the family is a little judgy, so she was worried about that. They end up going to dinner, and things actually turned out really great. They were having good conversation. Parents on both sides seem to be getting along and really not being judgy at all. But Lewis got a bomb dropped on him. Lewis has just been getting worn out this season.
She said that they were like, his parents were like the Huxtables. That's how she described them.
Mm-hmm. But we find out at this dinner that the Huxtables ain't so much the Huxtables. So Mom and Dad have been living separately. Mom is selling a house in Philly to move to Florida. And Lewis got his drawers in a bunch about it. I mean, he is upset. And, it takes his brother coming to him to let him know, like, hey, man, if your situation with your little side baby has shown you nothing else, you need to have grace for people. Have some grace for your own parents and have some grace for Eddie.
Absolutely. And then, like you said, don't you see how happy they are? I mean, why are you trying to live their life? You got one of your own that needs cleaning. And we've already said that about that. Look, clean your own house before you start talking about how dirty somebody else's house is.
Nobody is perfect.
Yeah.
And that's what the brother was pretty much saying. Like, nobody, including you, Lewis.
Exactly.
Yeah. Lewis been getting a lot of reality checks.
I'm glad. And I'm actually glad that it happened that way. And I'm glad that Eddie was able to have a conversation with Lewis's father, parents, and they had a a bond, about the music and things like that, which I don't think Lewis was expecting. I think Lewis was expecting it to go that, to go against Eddie, that his parents would not like him, but they hit it off.
Yeah, and I think that Lewis ultimately kind of seen that point, which is why he later called Daniel and was like, look, I don't need you to do that thing anymore. You can drop that. I don't need you to look into Eddie. And so, but Daniel was able to find the lead. He found some information out about Eddie, and I think that it's separate from what Eddie told Lewis, because Lewis had Eddie come over and he confronted him about the situation. But before Lewis could reveal what he knew, it seemed like Eddie dropped another bomb about Mama Lou having cancer. And I don't think that was at all what Lewis was going to confront him about.
It's interesting, though.
So it's something that's going on.
It's interesting. And I honestly don't know what's his name? Daniel. Daniel.
Daniel.
I don't know what Daniel was referring to when he talked about.
I think I have an idea what it's about.
But
what do you think?
But Lewis did say, though, why did you come back? And he said because Lou has cancer, and that could very well be why he came.
That could be a piece of it.
That's a piece of it, but it's something else going on.
Eddie is out here faking sobriety, out here lying to Jax about his 5-year sober anniversary or whatever, and he got this guy Lionel, his friend or whatever, posing as his sponsor. And so I think, and we've seen Lewis kind of trailing them and watching them having dealings. And so I think whatever Daniel has to tell Lewis is related to that about Eddie being a fraud. He's in town for some other reason other than Mama Lou. Mama Lou might be a piece of it, but he also got his own motives.
I think so too.
The question then becomes, if the gentleman isn't the lead, it wasn't the leader, and he didn't do 5-year sobriety, and there are other people in there, why weren't the other folks surprised? Why were they clapping and giving accolades to Eddie for meeting that milestone if it was all?
Because they might not know that he ain't,
On the
sober.
up and up, right?
Yeah, they might not know that they're probably innocents.
Well, you would have to only, yeah, I'm saying if you and I have been in a meeting for any length of time, a year, 6 months, or what have you, there's been discussion about how long you've been there. There's been discussion about, where you are in your sobriety at this
He
point.
could be outright lying.
Well, I'm just saying everybody had in that room then was lying or was a part of it.
No, he could be lying, and they could be believing him.
He's new to town too, I believe. Like, I don't think he has always been in the area. So if he's just popping in on one of these AA meetings and they're not really familiar with him and his journey, they
But I'm
could just
talking
be
about,
taking him at face value.
it could be, but the guy getting up, giving any kind of accolades to him in a pen or whatever, that's not your role. That's obviously if you're not the leader of that particular meeting, it was confusing. I'm not going to go into any.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, because like, how are you just going to dupe that whole room full of people into going with your story?
Exactly, and
See,
there's no backstory to that. So, but it's we. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole because we got. But
now I just said, do you think that he could want some money from Jax? You think that could be part of it too,
who? Eddie?
Eddie?
He might be.
The question
I
is, does
feel
he
like he's
need money
probably.
from that? Does he need it? Is he
Right, like,
some sort of
is he in trouble or
yes?
something? And he
That's
might.
And that's his real reason for coming to town. I
That's what I'm
think it's
wondering.
probably more that than it is about drugs, because he
yeah,
doesn't seem to be someone who's strung out on drugs. He just doesn't
right.
appear. So I'm glad you brought it up because of the fact that if I had to look at it another way, I would think that it's more about some other nefarious deal that he's got going on that he needs
Hmm.
to clean up, and he needs Jack's help to do so. Whether it's
Yeah.
me or having Jax defend him, it's something, but it's not out of just caring about Jax.
hmm Yeah, and Jackson's gonna be heartbroken because getting this news about her mom having cancer, I think everything that has happened up till now will start making more sense to her. Like, her
Hmm.
mom is kind of like just all of a sudden making amends with people from the past, Eddie or
Hmm.
whatever, trying to reach
Hmm.
out and be a family and bring the unit together. Like, I think that Jax is going to be so torn up about this, and I don't know if it's going to affect her, her work and her ability to defend Ozzie, because that's a major blow to receive in such a public trial like this. How
Hmm.
can you hold yourself together and think straight? And like, cancer is not something that is like it goes away like that. You got to go through all the steps to treat it and try to get rid of it and then to monitor it. And I just like, it's going to drain her. I think this is devastating for Jax
Well,
and the kids. We haven't even seen the kids at all this episode,
not
but
this
when they
week.
find out too, they will be hurt too.
I still think that Jax is going to end up probably having to leave that firm because those partners, that was treacherous the way they went to Bill with that stuff and saying
Mm-hmm.
that, they're going to be acquired and we don't know that she's going to be a good fit and everything. So I'm like, oh, so you guys are trying to push her out. And she's a partner. She's
Mm-hmm.
not some associate, and she's brought a lot of money to that firm. So I'm like, she's going to end up leaving anyway.
yeah.
And you know what? This is why I gave Bill the hands too. While we're here, let's go ahead and move on to who can get the hands, because Bill can get the hands not only for sleeping with Sally, but for what he did to Jackson there, because these partners are coming to you about another partner. Like you just
Hmm.
said, why
Hmm.
would you want to be a partner in a firm that treats their partners that way, that puts
Hmm.
them out? Like, if anything, that would have made me have more conviction for defending Jackson, standing up for her and saying, no, no, there's nothing I can really see that would be a problem. Like, I would have defended her in that instance and then went back and let Jackson know, like, hey, this firm about to be acquired. Maybe we need to go off and do our own thing.
That's why I called him a Karen too, a male Karen, because I was like, so she's the one that has to go. It made me think about this short film that I saw at the Martha's Vineyard Film Festival called the Memo, and it was talking about the black women microaggressions in corporate, and it was real short, but it was very relatable, and it was just the stuff that Jax is dealing with in this episode, like as powerful as she is and awesome as she is, she's still being gaslit. She's still being made to feel like she's tripping. And even, when Bill talked to her about it, he was like, yeah, there's reasons why, you can be paranoid or whatever. Like he gaslit her and stuff. And her instincts is telling her like something's not right. Now they're outright doubting me and everything. So I think by the end of this season, and that may even be the season finale or whatever, I think she's gonna end up leaving that firm because they don't
Nope,
deserve her.
they don't.
I only
Yeah.
speak, and the only aspect on Bill's behalf is thinking that making partner would bring he and his family back together. If that's the case, um, I I don't know. I'm 50-50 on whether I agree with
I-
him. He it seemed like he really wanted his family back. So
the
Not at
ratings are
all
on the wall
costs.
though. If you make partner at that firm, you're gonna always have to watch your neck because clearly the other partners are always gonna be coming for it.
Yeah,
So ain't no way you can have peace with your family
well,
and let your guard down when
Bill's
you got
white.
partners like that coming after you.
exactly. And they're shady and they're undermining you and playing games and everything. So now it's Jax. Who's to say they won't be doing that to him too? And then he'll be once again having to sideline his wife and say, well, I can't go to the such and such, or I can't because I really got to prove myself at the job.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be one more thing that she had to take a back seat to the job. Like,
Yep.
mm-mm, mm-mm.
Yep. Bill gets the hands.
Bill gets the hands. Bill
Sally
and
gets the hands.
Sally.
I
Bill
Sally,
and Sally from the Valley. Is
yeah,
getting
get the
I'm
hands.
not angry with it. I was just let me just
yeah,
let me
yeah,
pop this
both
up.
of them.
Okay, I'm not angry with it.
I think we are all on board with giving what's her name? Not Crystal.
Monica?
Chris Kristen Kristen
Kristen?
Kristen, the sister, Ozzie's sister, the hands for
Why?
going to the journalist.
I okay. I like to table her hands because I still
Okay.
don't know what that's about. I don't want to. I don't want to make. I don't want to be too presumptuous with that. So
Hmm.
I will table it. I agree with you that it looks nefarious, but I just want to table it right now. I don't know what's going on with her, and there's still something very nerdy about her that
She playing Daniel too.
it's
Yeah, well, she can get the hands at the door.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna table it. Y'all can give it to her if you want, but I'm gonna table it
I'm giving.
because
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not
I'm a little confused. I don't know. I don't know.
yeah, I think she's suspect. Monica still deserves the hands.
Oh, Monica
For,
got what she deserved. And
she got
Monica
what she deserved, but
definitely.
she still deserved the hands for being a pedo.
I'm,
Yes.
I'm gonna give Ozzy the hands too.
Ozzy, yeah,
Ozzie
Ozzy
gets the
too.
hands
Ozzy is suspect to
'Cause
me.
very much.
you wilding out and having Monica, bring these women, and then you're gonna treat this one woman that you invited back to your bedroom, and you just go off, you go left on her like that. There's a problem. So you,
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he got
Yeah. I'm
issues.
also oh, go ahead, Tiff.
No, I just say he got issues.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say Eddie can also get the hands for lying about being sober.
we don't know. We don't
He's
know yet though.
not sober.
We don't know that. You have not seen one episode or one frame in an episode where he was high on anything.
Well, he might not be high, but he's still lying about it
But he's
being.
lying about something.
He's lying about something.
He
I don't
lied
know if
about the.
it's
I just don't think it's drugs. But
Okay, but okay, this is blowing my mind. This is actually blowing my mind. If you are sober, then just be sober. Like, just tell people you're not doing drugs or drinking or whatever your vice was. Just be like, look, I'm not doing that no more. Why did he feel that he had to invite Jax to a fake 5-year anniversary sobriety AA meeting or whatever?
but
It's like, why couldn't you just let your word be your word? Why did you
but
have to put on this show for
but
her?
but that's my whole point. For him to put on that show, he had to develop a show. And I'm not saying
Yes, and
okay, but you still okay.
he's
Whether
an intense liar. Like, that is another level of lying to put on a whole show.
But if you know people who are abusers of drugs, you don't clean up that well, even when you do try.
I'm
And
not saying he's back on drugs though. I'm talking about the level of the lie.
the lie is in association with whatever else he's got going on, which is what Tiffany is
Yes.
to. And I'm
Yes.
definitely in agreement with that. I'm in agreement with he's got something else going on, and whatever it is, he has to create these.
I have a thought.
Huh?
I said, I have a thought. What if he's the one that's really sick? Because the guy said something like, you
Where
need to
he's
tell
at.
her the truth.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
so what if he said it was Mama Lou and it's actually him?
Might make that's another.
And dude might know and like, you need to tell her that you were
I,
sick.
I agree.
I don't know, but but there is definitely something deceitful going on. We
That
just
would
don't
be
know what.
another diabolical lie. Because why would you have her believe that her mama is sick on her deathbed damn near? She in the middle of this big trial.
Yeah,
Yeah, a
diabolical.
lie is a
I
lie.
mean,
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
is. It is. I just think he's being deceitful. I don't know if it's about his sobriety. I don't know if he's back in town for money. I don't know, but it's something is not right.
I
I
can't.
wouldn't care what he's back in town for and whether he's been sober for 30 years. If you are lying and putting on this whole pony show showing me your 5-year anniversary and all, you did not have to do none of that. I would have just believed you if you told me you were sober. You did not need to do all that. If you lying about my mama having cancer and I'm in the middle of this big trial, you can forget about it.
Help
Whatever
me.
you came for, you can forget about it. Any other relationship that you was looking for in the future, you can forget about it.
Help me.
Right. I hear you.
Help
I
me.
hear you.
Help me.
I hear you.
Okay.
Ain't
I
nothing worse than dealing with a liar. They are fooling with your reality.
That's true. That's true. I cannot stand a liar.
So I'm not giving Jack's daddy no sympathy here. Eddie got the hands, okay? And he might be on there for the foreseeable future. Okay, so we all in agreement on Eddie then.
Okay.
We're gonna have to wait and see what happens though, because I'm still very
you got
interested
it.
to know what his reason. I gotta
It.
know the reason. I gotta know now. I'm
Yeah,
invested.
we
I
got to
need to
see what's
know the
happening with
reason.
him. We got to see what's happening with him. He's deceitful.
Because Eddie might be getting stomped out next week.
Right.
We upgrade him from the hands to the feet. He gets stomped.
Oh, gosh. I know.
So, whew.
You smoked it. So
Yeah. Well, who would get the game ball then?
A lot going. I
oh,
think. Well, I don't know. I
Cats will
wanted to
get the
ask
game
y'all
ball
too.
from putting Monica out.
Well. Wait. You want to give Jax the game ball? Did you think it was foul of her to get Monica in the courtroom under false pretenses? She told her
Absolutely
she
not.
was going to be speaking on an
Absolutely.
agent-client basis, only about work stuff,
She
and
could
she was not going to ask her none of the other things.
No, I know it. I know because you hate lying, but she couldn't tell her that I'm gonna treat you like a hostile witness. So she couldn't tell her that. So
No, she couldn't tell that, but
Or
that was that was crazy. That's why.
okay, so do you think she did that? Do you guys think she did that on purpose? Like, let me just get her in the courtroom so that I can go down my own line of
absolutely.
Oh
questioning?
yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Or do you
absolutely.
think that Ozzie? Do y'all think that Ozzie had a change of mind? Because in the beginning he was like, no, and she was like, well, we'll just table this, and you can let me know later if
No,
you want to go through with
I
it.
no,
think
I think
that
she
was her
lied. I
plan.
think she lied to Ozzy, talking about we'll table it, and that calmed him down. But I think that she deliberately remember she went to Monica and said,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm going to do this. It's going to be a soft throw,
Yeah.
all, and you just answer a few simple questions, and that's
Yeah.
a lie. So,
Yeah.
and what he did was treated her like a hostile witness. So that was
So
straight
do you
up
think she
hostile.
deserved the hands for that?
No, I think she did her job, man. That I told
She,
you,
she she
lawyers are
did
lawyers.
reasonable. Yeah, she did reasonable doubt.
Yeah,
She
lawyers
needed some
can
reasonable
lie.
doubt, but it was foul.
It
It
was
was
foul.
foul.
I grant you that.
It
But
was foul.
what she did was more foul, if there's such a.
but she had an
She had it
obligation
coming.
to represent her client
And you
and
know
get
what?
him on.
And an obligation to a child molester because that's what
Yes,
he turned out to be.
yes, she is a
So,
Mhm.
child molester, and shoot, it's
so
probably the reason why Ozzy on drugs.
hey, that's another thing. So my thing is by any means necessary.
Well, I
I
do
was
agree with
surprised.
y'all
I
on
thought they
Jackson
was going to
getting
handcuff her.
blood.
And I
Yeah.
thought they was,
Well,
sorry.
we don't even know. Maybe next week they'll open
They
up with them cuffing her.
Yeah, because I was like, are they going to let her walk out of there?
Yeah. Well, I
well, what
But
do they have
statute
a
of,
statute of
yeah,
limitations?
statute of limitations is probably gone because,
I
but
don't know. I got to look into that. I don't know if there's a statute of limitation on child molestation. I don't know.
I think it is. I mean, it depends on the state.
Well, that too. It may depend on. It may be a state issue. I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah, but I was like, Monica needs something
Yeah.
besides that little verbal lashing she got.
At least
That
having
is
her
sick.
license
And the way
stripped.
that she fell apart, the way she crumbled when he left her and told her he didn't want to see her no more. I'm like, this woman not only molested him, she fell in love with someone who was underage.
Hmm.
That is a whole new level of like, she just gave me the ick. I was like, Monica is foul.
Yeah. When she was watching him when he was with the girl and she was, I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, she was,
And she's
yeah.
sitting up here. He's like he was not even like some of the men that I've been with before, but I'm like, he was a kid. What
He
you
was a kid.
mean?
Yeah.
Well, it says that the
Yeah, she was
law.
tripping.
It said that the elimination of time limits was removed for child molestation. So it looks
So
like,
there's still hope.
but
Justice for Ozzie.
yeah. Now, and particularly, so I don't know. I don't know. So whatever the case is, she's still that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She's
Even if
still
Yeah.
that.
you,
But I do think that it was good that because I do think that Ozzie had something to do with Wendy's murder. Like I said, either
Hmm.
directly or indirectly. But if some kind of, like, say that video releases and it incriminates Ozzie, I think the fact that Monica has testified and admitted to molesting him since a child might factor into the jury maybe taking it easier on Ozzie because he has been abused.
yeah,
So I
and Jax did a
think
job.
even if he is ultimately guilty, they will introduce a little aspect of empathy
Double
from
down.
the jury.
Well, then Jax did her job.
Mm,
She did exactly what she was supposed to.
yeah.
What
Yep.
about the game
Yep.
ball?
So Jax gets
I say Jax
Jax.
the game ball,
Hmm.
even though she lied, and I can say
Hmm.
just lie. So they do whatever they got to do to get
Hmm.
it
Hmm.
done.
Hmm. Yeah, she did. Yeah, she represented her client, and even Daniel did it. Even though he slipped up with Kristen, Kristen has him wrapped around her finger, but he is still doing his job. He's still following her. He's still following up on leads and stuff. And that's a key clue that he found out with that journalist and stuff.
The
That's
journal.
yeah. So I'm like, he's still doing what he's supposed to do, even though we know he a little sprung on Kristen.
I agree.
He sprung, but he don't let the job slip.
Exactly.
So do you give him the game ball?
He can get him. Yeah, he can get
Yeah, I think
an honorable
so.
mention for me.
Yeah, I think so. I think so because he's still doing his job.
Okay.
And he did come through for Lewis on that Eddie information too. We don't know
Yep.
what it is yet, but we
Yep.
know he still followed through on that. So
Yep.
Daniel, he on it.
He's on it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, this was a very good episode. We got a
Mhm.
lot to look forward to for next week. Because I'm just hoping they would let us know something about this video and what's in it. I want to see what's going to come of this Eddie situation and Mama Lou, whether she really got cancer. Because now, Tiffany, you got me second guessing.
I mean,
So we'll see.
yeah. I just Spidey senses tingling with Eddie and stuff, so I don't know that I trust what he says either. You know.
And y'all don't come at us because we got a lot of fire under us.
I know. I read
All
that
the
comment.
time we do this all the time with almost all
I
of
was ready to say, y'all, those who've been watching us,
them.
y'all know we like family and stuff. And then they're like, oh, just going so hard for somebody who's imaginary. No, it's not about imaginary. It's the point.
It's the point. Yeah,
It's the point. It's the scenario and stuff.
Exactly. This is the spot real talk.
Real talk.
Real talk conversation. We sometimes even put ourselves in the scenario.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes we can see that.
This ain't no regular recap. Okay, so when you come with us, you better have a nightcap because this ain't no
that part.
Right. So it's all fun. It is all fun.
Yes, indeed. So if you guys enjoyed this episode, please drop down in the comment section and give us your thoughts on the episode of Reasonable Doubt, as well as any predictions that you have for future episodes. Also, be sure to subscribe to our channel, like the video, click that notification bell, and follow us at The Spot Real Talk on all social media platforms. We are looking forward to seeing what they got for us next week. It's definitely gonna probably be another spirited conversation, so y'all can get used to this type of banter. It ain't going nowhere.
Exactly.
All right, Teflon, y'all got anything else you want to add?
No.
We're done. Good.
Yo,
all right.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, we're gonna call it a night. Make sure you're back next week for another recap of Reasonable Doubt.
It takes,
Good night.
I'll still be in. You know what I'm saying? Yo. New year, new money, but it's the same old me. Need the yard that don't come cheap before I get 8 gold teeth. They wanna play with sticks and stones, I'm calling them Jamie T. Up chasing coins like Sonic, could trust me, they don't sleep. Play my songs out of whip, she said keep that shit on repeat. Gotta calculate steps, I gotta take a step back and breathe. Life got busy, I turned 18, moved out, all that I had was a dream. Wanna see all of my people free, but I ain't Martin Luther. I just get on the stage and sing. Better be ready for stress that all of that paper bring. ADHD, I can't wait for shit. Do my own thing, I hate the script. My man looks like a clone of my man, really he ain't got drip. If I pull up, I'm trying to get paid. 10 toes down, I want set pays. Hop in the booth, the beat get laced. I make it look easy, mate. Can't break down and cry, I put in blood, sweat and years.